What's up, Sagittarius gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. My name is Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This will be a general message for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Please come into the reading with an open heart, an open mind, and a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, please do push them aside. Assume they're going out to someone else. But again, be open to the fact that they may actually resonate for you at a later date, so you may choose to revisit these messages. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's do this. Let's get some helpful, hopefully insightful messages from my Sag gang. I have to remember to position these so you guys can see them. I always look at the video screen later and they're like half off the screen. I just get so excited to read. All right, bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. Love that. That feels like a power move, a power player. Something that's getting you lit, something that's getting you excited or turned on or charged up. Let's see if that factors in later on. I'm sure it will. But yeah, let me take a peek at this. So I'm going to read this as where are you coming from? Where are you headed? What are you building towards? What you need to release and what you need to embrace. I see anxiety holding you back this week from stepping into your destiny. It's funny, I'm actually being called to kind of read it this way first. So if you're being asked to release the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles is a card of the worker bee, doing the work, rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty, whether it's in pursuit of a degree or learning this or doing that, it could be anything, house repairs, working on a relationship. But then it's almost like you've actually achieved or accomplished quite a bit, but it's easier to stay in what is familiar. It's like you talk yourself out of going forward to the next step because something about it sort of scares you or intimidates you, or it might just be sort of a lack of confidence, especially in something involving artistry, where it's like, how do you define what a good artist is, or what makes something good art? And I'm using this as a metaphor, of course, but it's this idea of maybe there is no system to evaluate anything on a scale of good or bad or yes or no, which is kind of bullshit anyway, right? There is no black and white. Everything is kind of, all over the place. What I'm getting at, though, is that because maybe there isn't a specific, what is a good word for it? It's hard to aim for a specific goal or number or accomplishment or achievement. And so you kind of get lost in this, it could be indecision or just questioning if what you've done is enough. Some of you, by doing that, it's almost like you risk overdoing it, which is, I'm just going to be blunt and honest, that's a very Sagittarius word, right? You're ruled by Jupiter, so it's all about expansion and growth. But at what point do we stop? Or at what point do we settle and see the forest from the trees, or stop and smell the roses, right? And really appreciate all that we have accomplished. And the thing is, it doesn't stop here. It's almost like, just to give you a cheesy example, the idea of if you're painting a portrait, but you're so nervous to show it to the public or post it on your Instagram, you keep going back to tweak it, but by tweaking it, it's almost like you're taking away from it by adding more. That's very much the message I get here. And again, if you're to kind of go internal, I think you're going to see it really does stem from fear. So this is, Nine of Swords. It has to do with our thoughts, our ideas, our perception of things. I believe it's a Mars in Gemini card. That's the planetary zodiac connection to it. So it's intrusive thoughts. It's forceful or maybe impenetrating thoughts. But the thing is, you seem to be the one who's, it's self-criticism is what I'm trying to say. It's needling yourself to make yourself believe that you're not good enough. But the thing is, I almost see this as what you have to offer is something that you can rest on and be have a feeling of accomplishment about. And then let's talk about this card, right? Because it's funny, you have the Nine of Swords being clarified by the Star. You're going through a major process of healing. And healing the relationship you have to yourself. Hopefully that doesn't sound cheesy to you all, but welcome to tarot readings, right? It is all about self-transformation and self-love. I actually think that whatever you're hesitating on, you're no, I'm just going to go keep doing this thing, or Another kind of Sagittarian thing, like the idea of like escaping the final chapter or the final thing you have to do, or launching the product, launching the website, showing off the thing you made, launching the business, working with your partner to do that thing. If you divert it or keep sidestepping it, you're actually missing out on like this wonderful accomplishment and achievement. What you need to embrace is like loving yourself more. It's a card of spiritual healing and wellness, and especially because you have a lot of sword energy, in a more, I'm hearing regimen, but that's really not the word I was looking for, but maybe that applies to some of you. Really analyzing and looking at your thoughts, not to confuse yourself more, because I think you're already doing that a little bit, but sort of choosing to see the best in things, choosing to take stock or put stock in the thoughts of belief in your wellness, in your abilities, in your beauty, in your talents, in your abilities as a healer, or whatever it is. The star is a very important card. It's associated with Aquarius. There needs to be a more open-mindedness, or a loving, I don't know if loving relationship is a good word. Anyway, a more sympathetic or championing your own work and thoughts and ideas. Because I do see sort of, it's not that you're wearing it on your sleeve, your insecurities. I actually think you keep them hidden quite well. But under the veil, under the layers, I think there is a lot of like, not self-hatred. I think that's a too harsh of a word. But that, that's sort of what I'm getting at, is we kind of have to dissect the thoughts we're having this week, and like, what thoughts are helpful and what thoughts are really just, putting us in this position to never go after our long-term goals and dreams. Because we have to remember Aquarius is associated with your 11th house, right? So 11th house is all about your long-term goals and dreams, and, your visions into the future, and what you create in this lifetime, and what brings you sort of gifts and blessings. And I can tell you, it's your hard-earned money. That's not really what I'm trying to say, but Pentacles, right? Your well-crafted skills and talents. Thank you, Spirit. That took me a long time to get to. All right, so where you're coming from? You're coming from a place of Six of Wands. So a place of, it's kind of funny, when these two cards end up together, there's an element of celebrity or being seen. Being popular. I almost see this too as that fear of imposter syndrome. I'm going to say that again. Imposter syndrome. That's what this tarot reading like reeks of to me. And I'm not hating on you by any means. I mean, I think we all go through bouts of that. I mean, some people are crippled by it their entire life, but some of you, it felt like maybe you had some sort of advantage, or I don't know, something put you in the spotlight, possibly early on, or it could just be that you've had a recent success with, something in your business, and business is doing well. But there still is this hidden fear that we've never quite gotten rid of. And that's why it's what's needing to be embraced. This Mars and Gemini destructive thoughts. That the thing is, they're coming from you. They are your thoughts, and I don't see it as externalized per se. It could be that you're in a job or something that it's highly competitive. That's Mars energy. But when you let that when you turn that inward and make it self-destructive about I'm not good enough and everything I do is shit, well, that's not good for you, right? We kind of got to almost like pour that bullshit out and like rewrite the narrative, heal our thoughts. Mars can be a card of healers too. A lot of, I think a lot of like nurses and doctors sometimes have a strongly placed Mars as well as kind of like Neptune energy. It can be a bunch of things, but anyway. So let's see, you're going from Six of Wands. So again, attention, praise, leader of the pack, people celebrating you, lots of applause. Then kind of falling into this, oh my God, what if they find out? Usually the Four of Swords is a card of rest. I have to read it both ways because these are telling different storylines, but they're all connected. So here I see it as, you can put up a show with the best of them, but on the inside, when you get home at night and you can kind of unwind, you're just like, oh my God, what if they find out, right? And I'm being a little bit over dramatic, but I do see this as like you just need a really good pep talk, I think, this week, Sagittarius, because what you're headed towards is the Emperor. Like you own the show again, or, you're being placed in this leadership position where you're being asked to sort of go new places with your innovative skills and unique ideas. That's big with the star too. Lead the pack, so to say. You may have plateaued too. If you experience early success at a job and then who knows, maybe you moved companies and you were like, low man on the totem pole or however you want to say it. And so maybe you started to question like your self-worth based on the opinions of others. But the thing is, don't, obviously. And I know it's easy for me to say, right? I mean, it's far more complicated than that. But it isn't. The minute you decide to rewrite your thoughts and believe in yourself, this is what you're headed towards. You have beautiful things that you're building towards. But yeah, I see you either getting stuck in something that is comfortable. Well, that's absolutely it. I see you getting stuck in something that is comfortable, but the negative side to that is that you're no longer taking risks in areas of life where you have huge potential to succeed and grow and accomplish whatever it is that you want. For some of you, you're at a job or a profession or something where you're constantly surrounded by people. It's like everybody's in your orbit. And for the most part, I think when you're in it, you really enjoy it. But it's almost like it's too much too soon, or you're burning the candle at both ends. So by the time you get home, you have nothing left for yourself. And so maybe you've had to put your family on the back burner, or your kids, or your, fill in the blank. It's like something that's very important in your life is having to take the back burner because of all this craziness and success that I do sense it's coming from a workplace. But with that, I think it's saying this isn't a secret to you. You have to sort of allocate your time more wisely. And that's what this could be too. Finding more internal balance. But it could be external balance just in your own life and how you operate on like a day-to-day basis. All right, I'm going to try and look at this a couple other ways for the Saggies who are like, that ain't me. Six of Wands is a card of victory, straight up. So that's coming up in your recent past. So that'll be an indicator to let you know if this is your reading. Recent success. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be reaching a personal milestone, whatever, a goal weight, achieving something at some club or activity or whatever. Six of Wands. Yeah, even in its most basic sense, a card of celebration, rest, recuperate, get your head in the right place, enjoy, appreciate, have a sense of gratitude for what has recently come into your life and the abundance that surrounds you. Whether you're poor or a millionaire, it doesn't matter. We all have reasons to be grateful, right? So with that, what you're building towards is success. And then a bit of a lull, but what I think some of you don't understand is it's for your own spiritual health, your own mental health, and for your own wellness to like take a breather. And then you're going to go out and kick ass again, Sagittarius, like the Emperor. You're going to have more control than you did before too. And that's especially for my artists out there, something about like creative freedom or creative control. The Emperor is big with that. So then again, though, because this card is like what you need to move away from, some of you may have gotten too comfortable in this sort of rest or retreat to the point where it's becoming almost hermit energy. To be clear, the Eight of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards in tarot. I think it's a great card. It's about identifying with what you're doing in the world, the work you're doing, what you're constructing, putting a piece of yourself into it. Because ultimately, I think that's what we're supposed to do here in the world, right? We're supposed to share a little piece of ourselves and, make the world a better place, whatever that means to you. You're doing that, or you're going to be. Maybe it's during this break or this rest. But with that, I like it because I think you find something that does bring you joy and happiness, but at the same time, it gets convoluted because something about taking it a step further really triggers you. And maybe it had to do with a past experience of, I don't know, like, what will they think of me? What will the public say? What will my family think if I show this inner side of myself? This to me is like, she don't give a fuck, right? Like, she's kind of walking like she owns the place. And that's very much the Emperor vibe here, too. Something about this is destined, and it's in alignment with with what is to become your destiny. I'll say it that way. I think I think we all play a role, right? I think there's milestones we're meant to hit, but based on your birth chart, there's a rough etch of what this could be. Don't sacrifice that. There's something really nice and really juicy and lush and fun and lovely about what's to become of this, but you have to do the healing work first to get to it. And so some of you, it's asking you, how can we heal these negative thoughts or this negative pattern or this negative way of thinking? Some of you are in a relationship that is quite verbally abusive or with a partner who has a very toxic energy that really weighs heavily on you and puts you down. It almost feels like a bullying energy. Some of you are going to choose to walk away from that, and your life is going to change, like, in incredible ways. And then that brings us back to, like, the Ace of Swords, right? You've had the power the whole time, right? There's something very, like, well, actually, I think this is Wizard Tarot or Witch's Tarot. There's something magical inside of you, and you have to let it burn brightly, right? Sagittarius, you're a fire sign, so, mutable fire, too, so it can't just be held and contained, right? That's Leo. That's the fixed fire. Sagittarius is like, I got to spread it all over town, right? And sometimes that's why you guys get the reputation of being, the players or whatever. But let's take that in another, let's look at that in a different way. Sagittarius is also associated with, like, preachers and religions, spreading, the word of God. But again, it doesn't have to be God. Spreading the word of anything. Spreading enthusiasm, joy, passion. My dad's a Sagittarius, right? They make excellent salesmen, right? They can sell you anything because their enthusiasm for it gets other people, stoked and juiced up and enthused about it too. And, like, that's what you're meant to do. It's like you're keeping something hidden away, and it's a piece of yourself, and it's meant to shine brightly in the world. You're meant to be sort of that beacon, that lighthouse. But I don't even think that's the best metaphor, right? Because we think of a lighthouse as being very fixed and rooted in the ground. You're supposed to bring this to new places. You're supposed to, it could be metaphorically travel with it, right? It could be traveling more of the mind, education-like. But even teachers, preachers, that's very, like, Sagittarius. Your sword is mighty, but you're not utilizing it. That's sort of what I get from this. And I hope I'm not confusing you, because there is the message of no, like, take a break. You need to recuperate. And, like, for some of you, it's just like recharge your battery, because you can't be out, I'm joking here, but, like, selling the word of God all day and do it again and again and again and maintain that energy. You have to take a break and recharge your battery, right? But with that, I just see some of you falling into like a slump. I guess I would say that. Again, nothing wrong with the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords can be a card of great self-respect for the body and, resting your mind. But it's like when you rest your mind, that's when the negative thoughts start intruding. When you're in your element and among your people, I think you feed off that crowd's enthusiasm. So I'll say this, what happens when that crowd is gone? Do you still feel that love for yourself despite, those people not cheering you on in the crowd? And again, metaphors. I'm not saying all of you are out there celebrities, walking the streets with paparazzi. But hey, I mean, you do have two very strong cards of being seen by the public. So just putting that out there. But yeah, when you fall into this slump, I think it's good to maybe you're being asked to continue to participate in that hobby or that thing that kind of, it helps you recuperate. It might be something creative or spiritual, something that puts your mind at ease. But then at what point does that become like an enabler for not going out and doing the thing you need to do? And who says you can't change it up? Maybe you've reached a point where you're ready to pursue something else. But again, this is not a typical Sagittarian message, though I do understand the mental exhaustion. I see that in Sagittarius readings all the time. It's almost this hermit energy of being afraid to go out into the world again because something exhausted you or humbled you, or you're just going through this really tricky energy of self-doubt, which again, that happens in life. Some of you may have a really strong Saturn transit right now. Saturn's in Aquarius, so for any of my Saggies who have, maybe a Leo placement, you could be feeling that sort of like, that am I good enough? I'm questioning myself, and everyone else is better than me. That sort of, again, inferiority complex. But But we need to move away from like hiding ourselves away and doing the thing. We need to bring it out into the world, because that's, again, your Sagittarius, your mutable fire. You got to spread the zest and enthusiasm. Anyway, all right, I'm just repeating myself. If they're looking for love, if Sagi's looking for love, I'll do that really quick. There could be an Aries or an Aquarius in your future. Anything else? Queen of Pentacles, love yourself first. Make sure you value who you are and what you do, and you're going to align with those types of people. Queen of Pentacles is a very strong card of Capricorn to me. And this one's kind of sticking out too. And the Sun, Leo energy. Some of you may actually end up meeting someone who has a child from a previous marriage. It doesn't have to be that, though. You know, male or female. Don't get caught up on the queen thing. Some of you may be actually pursuing adoption. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I just did. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What was the other message coming through? I'll get it. Okay, and then some of you meet someone who is very nurturing to your soul, and they allow your inner child to thrive and shine. And so again, make sure that goes both ways. You know, you can't be in a relationship where your person is constantly stoking the fire, or stoking the fire, aka you. It has to be reciprocated, reciprocity, right? But I actually see an opportunity where you guys encourage each other's dreams, encourage each other to go after your dreams. All right, animal card, and we'll wrap it up. I see Scorpion. Maybe a Scorpio's trying to... I feel like a Scorpio's spying on you. There's a Scorpio cross-watcher. I can feel it. That's all right. I don't care. I don't mind cross-watchers. Everybody does it. All right. And what's ironic, though, what I find is typically the readings that you cross-watch on are actually the messages that you need to hear. Because there's such a projection in romantic relationships. It's like, oh my God, they are doing that. But it's also you. I just think that's really funny. You should try it. Cross-watch on some video. You know, if you're interested in dating an Aries, watch an Aries video and see. Some of the messages will absolutely be for you. Anyway, all right, enough rambling. As 8 cards fall out, we'll take the bottom one. We'll give you the Otter. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. All right, give me a minute because I got to find it, and this book is not alphabetized. Oh, we got it. So close. Fast, because I'm in that Sagittarian energy. All right, the Otter. Obstructed, joy. Did I read that right? Unobstructed, joy, playfulness, contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck. Aw, you guys. The otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child. Available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and a reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. I'm just like pointing out all the cards that go with it. Anyway, get it together, Annie. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The Otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. When in balance, full love needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, make silly excuses. Bring into balance with a dance party or a celebration. I don't have a card of dance parties or celebration, but actually this kind of is, though, which is already showing up in your past. So anyway, Sagittarius, this is your reading this week. I hope it was useful to you. Look at all these animal cards sticking out. I feel like I'm going to show them to you. Maybe some of these will mean something to you. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. This is your reading. I hope it was useful and helpful. Please remember to hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends if you like how I read. Word of mouth is really going to help my channel grow, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help y'all out there in YouTube land. So thanks for joining me today. Have a fabulous day. Bye, Saggies.